Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. HIV are a bugbear, and the way with the changing social and moral values, HIV is spreading in its diverse form, whether it's for the young, or for the old. HIV, in one shape or the other, is such a terrifying phenomenon, especially since it has been untreatable. And for the first time, the Temple University and University of Nebraska Medical Center have used a combination of CRISPR gene editing technology to cure HIV. Of course, it's at experimental stage, and 9 mice suffering from HIV were treated using a combination of CRISPR gene editing technology and also an antiretroviral therapy called laser to kill the virus. It's a major breakthrough. Today in USA alone, 1.1 million people live with HIV. It's a virus which attacks the human immune system, and if left untreated, can turn into AIDS. And mostly people are either not aware or are so shy of admitting that they are suffering from HIV that they let it slide into AIDS, leading to their eventual weakening and early death. This technology of Temple University and Nebraska Medical Science is using CRISPR gene editing, which has been perfected by the Russian scientists. So much so that they have edited human beings, babies. And this cure of 9 mice in a lab is a ray of hope for millions of people worldwide. Now the point is only how long does it take to translate this gene editing of mice to gene editing of men. Normally, a lab scale technology to be converted to commercial scale takes up to anywhere between 3 to 5 years. Let's hope that this can be done at a larger scale and there can be dovetailing of the various stages of research and commercialization, and maybe Melinda Gates Foundation can step in and ensure that this is done at a multilateral level in a multi-country sort of research, so that the millions of the people can hope to be cured of this scourge. Though this is the good news, there comes still better news, and that's the next generation energy source. We are so much perturbed by the climate change that we forget that we have the energy available in our own homes. Imagine that hot air which goes waste everywhere, especially in larger setups, can be utilized, and there are Swiss researchers who have done it. What they have done is that the hot air in the train tunnels is converted into energy and powers thousands of homes. And this is the way it works. A series of the plastic pipes filled with transfer fluid or cold water, so cheap, could be installed along the train passage. And as passing trains warm those pipes, energy would be produced in the form of hot liquid. It's calculated by the scientists that 645,000 square feet area of lined tunnels could potentially supply enough energy power for 1,500 homes. Another reason, you would save 2 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. 2 million tons from 1,500. And the cost of production, except for the initial cost, is zero. This energy is at present going waste. You're just capturing it, harnessing it, and using it. And as a matter of fact, if you just calculate, last year the United States produced over 5 billion tons of carbon dioxide. Now, if 600,000 square feet of the line can give you energy for 1,500 homes, saving 2 million tons, if you do it along the railway track all over the world, and especially this is extremely useful for a country like India, which has a huge network of railways. And the trains run practically non-stop. So you have to build these pipes so the hot air just warms it and then you convert it. So easy, it appears. But it needs imagination, it needs research. And one thing more, we are today bothered by the plastic. One government comes and bans the plastic straws, forgetting that the replacement of the plastic straws with the paper straws is more harmful, because paper straws means deforestation. Our oceans are being littered with the plastic. What we need is not the ban of plastic, but the production of that plastic which is not harmful, biodegradable plastic. And that was done in Japan long back. But that biodegradable plastic that was developed in Japan, it was developed, I think, when I visited Japan in 1997, I saw that plastic sheet which was biodegradable. Anyway, the University of the Valley of Atimeca in Mexico, those researchers have developed a form of plastic, and it's developed not in the lab, of course in the lab, but it's made from the juice and processing of cactus. The prickly pear cactus, which grows aplenty in Mexico, has been used to manufacture biodegradable plastic. Now, according to the scientists, while they have researched on prickly pear cactus, any cactus can be utilized for that. Earlier we used to use grass, and now cactus. So utilization of a resource of nature which we have been considering to be harmful or waste. Our deserts, our wild spaces are lined with cactus. They are full of cactus. For example, in India, in the Rajasthan desert, the cactus are plenty. And if this biodegradable plastic can be manufactured, it will be a boon. Now, there's a difference. Just a second. Compared to the plastic formed from the fossil fuels, petroleum wash, this plastic is one, biodegradable, and it can be done very easily. It doesn't take years. They say in 2 to 3 months, this plastic can be biodegraded and becomes a part of the nature. And there's another benefit. If eaten, it's non-toxic. Again, in Asia, the cattle eat a lot of plastic waste, with the result that their bellies become distended and they die. Now, in case they eat this plastic, there will be no harm. Secondly, an average human being, without knowing, eats about 50,000 plastic particles in a year. These plastic particles can be adulteration of salt or of any other equipment, which they are doing it, and we know that. So unlike corn-based plastic, there has been plastic made from corn, it doesn't need a fertilizer, and it would not need the use of land that could be used otherwise. So it's growing in nature wild. You don't have to spend fertilizers and pesticides that you use for corn or wheat stock to manufacture. This is a free raw material at present. It can be grown very easily and cheaply as compared to the crops. It's non-toxic, unlike the fossil fuel, and is biodegradable. That is really something which should be of interest to every human being. And now comes, my worry has always been, and we have been talking about it, that we are facing a lot of short. And the third world war might well be because of the water. But now comes the news, and it's a great news, that there is a sea of fresh water under the ocean. The oceans are full of filth, full of waste, full of chemicals. But underneath the oceans, there is a huge, big sea of fresh water that can be tapped and used. Thousands of years ago, glaciers covered most of our planet. Oceans receded as the water froze in massive sheets of ice, blanketing the whole of North America. Ice age ended, glaciers melted, massive river deltas flowed across the continental shelf. Oceans rose again, but when the oceans came into being, fresh water was trapped in sediments below the waves. In 1970, some scientists thought that isolated pockets of fresh water were a curiosity. So they worked, but the latest research from Columbia University and Woods Hole Oceanic Institute is revealing. Here the scientists spent 10 days on their research ship, and they were towing electromagnetic sensors right from New Jersey to Massachusetts. They studied the electromagnetic waves through the fresh and the saline water and mapped out the fresh water reserves. It turns out that below the ocean, 50 miles away from the US Atlantic coast, the low water groundwater is almost twice the volume of Lake Ontario, fresh water. Double the size of Lake Ontario is just 50 miles away from US Atlantic coast. And the deposits of this fresh water begin 600 feet below the sea floor. So where the sea ends, there's a flow. You dig into it, go down 600 feet, and then the fresh water discovery is there. It's a 220 miles aquifer. And this is not one. According to the Columbia University, such aquifers are hundreds, and they have just to be tapped. There is on the east coast of the US between Martha Vineyards and Long Island. This was covered. It has an area of 670 square cubic miles. 670 cubic miles. And this water doesn't need desalination. It's just fresh. Take it and drink it. And the millions and the billions of the people who suffer from the water scarcity, their thirst would be quenched. The nation would heave a sigh of relief, and the water scarcity would be a thing of the past. That's the real great news for the suffering, thirsty humanity. More when we meet next week. Thank you.